The title of today's sermon is Gideon's Prayer. Dawn is the quietest time of the day, but spiritually it is the most intense time. The day begins with a fierce battle. Will we start the day with God, or will we be taken by the world? Therefore, I bless in the name of the Lord that all the saints gathered here today will always stand on God's side in this fierce spiritual battle. In every age of crisis, God has always called one person to restore that time. Who is the main figure of today's passage? It is Gideon. Even in the dark age of the judges, marked by rebellion and sin with no king, God raised up judges and shone the light of salvation. After enjoying 40 years of peace following Deborah, Israel once again did evil in the sight of the Lord, and as a result, they were oppressed by Midian for 7 years. And the people had to hide in mountains, caves, and secret places, and all the fruit of their labor was taken away. Yet in the midst of that despair, God found one person. And today, through Gideon and through Gideon's prayer, I hope this will be the time for us to examine ourselves and a time of prayer to overcome every situation we face. So, being number 1, God calls the weak to be mighty warriors. Judges chapter 6, verse 12 said, "The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, 'The Lord is with you, O valiant warrior.'" When Gideon was secretly threshing wheat in a wine press to hide from the Midianites, the angel of the Lord said to him, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior," and called Gideon. Gideon had never thought of himself as a mighty warrior, so he was confused, and he confessed that his clan was the weakest in Manasseh and that he was the least in his father's house. And this was shown in Judges chapter 6, verse 15. That was how he saw himself as well. God said to Gideon, who knew his own weakness, I will surely be with you, and you shall strike the Midianites as one man. He said, you shall strike the Midianites as one man. God spoke not by looking at Gideon's present condition, but by looking at his own presence with him. Beloved saints, our dawn prayers are the same. We often say, Lord, I am lacking. Lord, I have no ability. But even today, God speaks to us again. What does he say? Let us read his word directly and hear what he says. Judges chapter 6, verse 16. Let us read together. But the Lord said to him, surely I will be with you, and you shall defeat Midian as one man. He said, I will surely be with you. That is what he says whenever he tries to use that person as his vessel. Just as Gideon believed the words, I will surely be with you, and overcame everything, I urge you to firmly believe this promise as well. May all our saints here, in the name of the Lord, come out from the winepress of fear and stand in the place of faith, praying, Father, thank you for staying with me to the end, even as I hide in my weakness. Help me never to forget that it is not my condition, but your presence with me. May I hold on to you and your word and live in victory. And may all of us pray this prayer and be blessed in the name of the Lord. Number 2. Prayer is a spiritual battle that tears down idols. After calling Gideon, God did not send him straight to the battlefield. First, he commanded him to tear down the altar of Baal and cut down the Asherah pole in Judges chapter 6, verses 25 to 27. This shows that before fighting the external battle, one must fight first to win the internal and spiritual battle. Though afraid, Gideon obeyed that very night, which was Jerubbaal, meaning one who contends with Baal. One who contends with Baal. God's work always begins at the place where idols are destroyed. Dawn prayer is the place of this spiritual reformation. Though unseen, it is a time when the altars of Baal built in our hearts are torn down. Depression, pride, worry, fear, the approval of people, and success. When any of these come before God, they become idols. When our hearts fall into discouragement and lose joy, we must recognize that our hearts are being taken by the enemy. Satan seeks to discourage God's people, draw them away from God, and gradually make them dislike coming to church. He can discourage God's people in multiple ways, in any different ways. And the problem is not the situation, but the heart becoming distorted. The Bible tells us what comes into us at such times is written in John chapter 10, verse 10. Let us read. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. What came? The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. And come, Luke chapter 8, verse 12 says, let us also read this verse. Those beside the road are those who have heard. Then the devil comes and takes away the word from their heart, so that they will not believe and be saved. The devil comes and takes away the word from our heart. That is what Satan is seeking at all times. I bless you in the name of the Lord, that none of us would allow the enemy to steal our hearts or take away the word in our hearts. If there are any idol-like altars in our hearts that God does not delight in, may God give us the faith to tear them all down. May this time be a prayer in which we drive away fear and depression, reject all these things, and become people who rely on God alone. Number 3, God brings great victory through a small number. To fight against the Midianite army of 135,000, about 32,000 soldiers gathered. But God said, "The people with you are too many," in Judges chapter 7, verse 2, and left only 300. This process took in two stages. First, God commanded that those who were fearful and trembling be sent home, in Judges chapter 7, verse 3. This was also a regulation given through Moses when describing what Israelites should observe. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 8 says, "Then the officers shall speak further to be the people and say, 'Who is the man that is afraid and faint-hearted? Let him depart and return to his house, so that he might not make his brother's heart melt like his heart.'" At this time, 22,000 returned home, and only 10,000 remained. So those who were fearful and trembling were sent home. Second stage was God said to send home those who knelt down to drink water. One might think, isn't it fine to kneel down and drink water comfortably? But God said no. Send them home. In this way, 9,700 men were sent away. In Judges chapter 7, verses 4 to 8. Then in the third step, God selected only 300 men, those who scooped water with their hand and lapped it like a dog. Through these 300 men, who remained alert and kept a battle-ready posture even while drinking water, God brought victory over the vast Midianite army. I believe that those gathered here today are these very 300 praying warriors drinking water while remaining in battle formation. Do you believe in this? What weapons did these warriors have? Did they not fight and win with trumpets and torches? They were divided. They were able to win victory through obedience only, with trumpets and torches. They were divided into three groups of 100, each standing at their assigned positions, unmoving, holding torches and shouting together. As a result, the Midianite army of 135,000 fell into confusion and began killing one another because it was very dark. I bless you in the name of the Lord to believe that this great victory was accomplished through the prayer and obedience of the 300, through the trumpets and the torches. May you stand in unity within the responsibilities and callings God given each of you, blowing the trumpet, lifting the torch, and raising a cry of prayer, and may you be precious saints who gain victory in this spiritual battle. Point number 4. The warriors were weary, yet they followed to the end. The battle, which began at the start of the middle watch of the night, between 10 and 11 p.m., stretched from the valley near the hill of Moreh to the border of Abba Meholah near Tabath. In the process of defeating an army of 135,000 with only 300 men, they became utterly exhausted. The whole night they followed them, and it was utterly exhausting. What made their weariness even more painful was the jealousy and dispute of the tribe of Ephraim, who boasted of their own achievement and status. In addition, the people of Sukkoth and Panuel not only refused to provide food to the exhausted 300 warriors, but treated them with coldness and criticism. They not only didn't provide help, but didn't even treated them with coolness and criticism. Yet, even under these harsh conditions, the 300 warriors continued their pursuit to completely uproot the Midianite forces. They killed the 2 kings of Midian and delivered Israel. Those who fulfill God's mission are people who are weary, yet follow through to the very end. Even when others do not help, and even when they make matters worse. Beloved saints, God's mission can make us weary. At times we lack even the strength to lift up our hands. The place of prayer is the same. There are moments when answers are delayed, our bodies are tired, and our hearts grow discouraged. Yet God completes His work through those who follow to the end, even in weariness. This is the history of redemption. Therefore, today before the word, will you follow to the end? I bless you in the name of the Lord to pray and to faithfully carry out the mission entrusted to you. In conclusion, beloved saints, the story of Gideon is not a tale of human heroism, but a history of prayer that relies on God. Even at this dawn hour, God still calls the weak, works through the remnant, and completes victory through those who are weary yet follow to the end. Therefore, do not let your guard down. Keep your eyes on the enemy, scoop water with your hands, lift up the trumpet and the torch, cry out with a loud voice, and hold fast to the sword of the Lord until the very end. I bless you in the name of the Lord to be praying saints who faithfully carry out every mission entrusted to you.